Alright, so on to part 3. So again, we're going to be covering the non-paired questions this time. In part 2, we covered the paired parametric and paired non-parametric questions. So guess let's just get started. So again, back to the diagram. So again, we're going to be covering the not paired section. This time there's going to be 3 questions instead of 2 because now we're also going to have to deal with variances as well, which is going to be fun. Okay, so let's just start with question 3, so the non-paired, non-parametric question. So this is going to be very similar to the paired non-parametric question. Uh, the only difference really is that instead of paired equals t or true, you're going to be doing paired equals false. All right, you're still going to be using the Wilcox test, and you still also have to put exact equals f. The only difference is that you're putting f instead of t, all right? Because you're doing a non-paired question, right? So that's pretty simple. But now we're going to go onto the parametric side. In the parametric side, instead of having just its own equations, it's actually split into another two, and that'll be dependent on the variances, right? So okay, so how to know if the variance is equal or different. So in this case, you'll be just using the Levene's test, all right? And so the steps are as follows, right? So first you have to stack the data, and you have to make sure that you're only using your group 1 or group 2, or sorry, group 1 and group 2, all right, both, and only include those two. So you don't want any other data such as the X values or anything like that, just your group 1 and group 2. Stack those two. Next, install the car package into R. So as well as the Nortest package, you also want to install the car package, right? Because that's what has Levene's test. And next, you just do the Levene test, right? So do your Levene test, and then you just have your group 1 and group 2 split by comma, right? And then obviously you would check the p-value, and same with the normality tests. Basically, if the p-value is greater than your alpha, the variance is considered to be equal. If your p-value is less than alpha, your variance is considered to be different. All right. Okay. So now that we got all that, let's go on to the fourth type question, the non-paired parametric equal variance question. All right. So again, we're back to the t-statistic with a t-test, right? And so this is basically, again, very similar to our first question of our paired parametric question. And the only difference here is that your paired equals f, right? So pretty much everything is the same, it's just the f is here instead of the t, all right? Because obviously it's not a pair, it's a non-paired question, right? Okay, we good? Oh, and also I should mention that you also have to add variance as equal to true, right? Because it is an equal variance question, right? So also make sure to add that as well. Don't just copy and paste and change the f, all right? Okay, and then next, now we're on to the last question, question 5, the non-paired parametric equal different variance question. And in this case, you'll be using the Welsh Satterthwaite. I don't know how to say this, man. But in any case, it's still a t-test, and again, it's pretty much exactly like question 4. This time, variance is equal to false, all right? So again, make sure this is an F, all right? Everything else is the same as question 4, just again, make sure you put false, all right? So, I mean, generally, this is all pretty easy. Um, that's basically part 3 done. Part 4 is going to be essentially part 2 and 3, but just on steroids. There's going to be extra questions about confidence intervals and stuff like that. So yeah, but generally you'll still be using those base formulas to get the proper information you need. But yeah. Okay, on to part 4.